Santhush Avinata. Good morning, all the scouts, those who joined us this morning. This is the third day of the Global Cultural Jamboree, and hope you all are having a great time at this virtual jamboree. We warmly welcome you all to another exciting episode of the Catch-Up at GCJ. Let's see who will be joining you this morning. Please welcome Mr. Bathiya Jayakody and Mr. Santhush Weeraman, or shall we say BNS, world-renowned musical duo. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Milinda. How are you?
We invite all our YouTube viewers to put on your questions in the chat and we will get them in the end. Mr. Bathiya, the first question is to you.
Yes.
As the Sri Lankan Scout Ambassador, how do you feel the advancement of scouting with this COVID-19 pandemic?
Actually, it's very great to see that you guys have gone onto these sort of, platforms. And also, it's very nice to see that you guys have changed with the changing world and also faced this particular pandemic and you all have still I've seen how the way that you all have gone forward, whereas you all are having a global scout jamboree and it is done virtually, and then I think you all did one more, I think you all did a camporee also, which was going completely virtual, and it's very great to see how scouting has moved on in Sri Lanka and how it has expanded from the time that I was a scout about maybe it was almost about nearly 27 years ago. I was a resident scout, and it's really great to see how scouting has progressed in Sri Lanka.
Great, thank you, Bathiya. So I hear that you two guys first meet in a campfire in a Colombo Scout Camporee.
Yes.
So how did feel like that? How was your experience about that situation? So what are the main difference you see from past to the present? So can you please explain that to us, because we are eagerly like to hear that from you.
Okay, so it was a very interesting thing. I think it was the Scout Camporee 92, where the current, I think, Deputy Chief Commissioner Hanaprit Hernando, who is such a great organizer, even now, the current Deputy Chief Commissioner, he was the main person who was organizing the show. We used to have a talent show back in the day. Like say every scout camporee, we used to have a big show at the end of it. I think you guys still have it. So in that particular show, where the current Deputy Chief Commissioner Hannah Fernando very incidentally organized at that point, and it was done very well. We met for the very first time, and that was the first time that we met because I performed from our school. I say Ananda, and also he performed from his school, which is Royal, and that was the very first time that we met, and at that show.
Yeah, superb. So Santhush, I would like to ask the same questions from you. So so that bring us the, so what is the objections and what are the experience you guys been meeting the Colombo Camporee? So what are the experience, Mr. Santhush, do you have, as Bathiya said?
Well, first of all, good morning to everyone, and so nice to be here. Well, scouting has given, I would say, a tremendous load of experience in terms of life. In scouting, you always say, learn to be prepared, right? So starting from junior scouting to senior scouting, I think one of the key areas were when once I became a senior scout, I was entrusted with a load of planning, right? Then obviously, even as a junior scout, you need to plan your petrol, all those things, and then Then during, I was the instructor in charge for scouting in Royal College for Gold Troop 1. So then planning the entire things for the troop, your finances to the discipline, I mean so many things, right, to take the troop forward, so much of things. So fellowship, planning, trying to take things forward, teamwork, lots of things, and coexisting with people, right? I think these are very important things in life, and I think scouting did give me those nutrients into my life. So thank you very much.
Superb. So, Bathiya, you guys were observing the planning part of the Global Cultural Jamboree from the beginning. What do you think about the Global Cultural Jamboree?
Actually, the Global Cultural Jamboree is a great initiative. I got to see how you guys planned it out very well, and it was planned way ahead, and how things were properly mapped out. The way that Santhush, I think he explained to you. We also got a very solid kind of training and a background to properly plan such large projects and stuff through scouting, and that was one of the main attributes that we gained we gained to our life through scouting. And the way that you guys have, as I was explaining, the way that you guys have evolved from what we were doing to now is also great to see. Now, the way that you guys organize the Global Scout Jamboree is at a different level. Is at a very different level. We wouldn't have done, we wouldn't have thought of half of the things that you all are doing now when we were scouts. But it's very clear to see that that everything was done very professionally, and everything was done very professionally. And the way that you all have integrated the culture, the cultural items, the cultural, the cultural exchange through this Global Scout Jamboree is exemplary. And the other day we were a part of the opening as well, the opening ceremony. And when we saw the entire opening ceremony, it was fantastic. We saw various dignitaries coming online and speaking. We saw Sri Lanka's president speaking online, and then we saw various people from around the world taking part in this, and even on the YouTube chat window we saw a lot of activity from a lot of countries, which was excellent. And I think hats off to you guys. Congratulations.
Okay, a great, superb idea and superb discussion. So, Santhush, I would like to ask, what do you think about the Global Cultural Jamboree? We would like to ask you the kind opinions too.
I think it is a great initiative for organizing something like this, because especially a country like Sri Lanka, they have so much to offer to the world. And this type of opportunity gives Sri Lanka, to showcase what we have to the world, and also our fellow scouts of Sri Lanka, right? We always very proudly say that we are very hospitable people, right? So then this becomes an instance to say for us to share how we conduct things, our attitude, and as Sri Lankan scouts, how we operate things, and what we value as culture. And so there's so much that we can share with the rest of the world. So I would believe this is a great initiative.
Superb. Thank you, Santhush. Santhush, I would like to ask this question from you. So BNS is considered to be one of the world-renowned band in the music industry. How did scouting help you to achieve this much of success?
Well, our focus was always we wanted to create a sound for Sri Lanka, which had some say sound for Sri Lanka, which had an where we wanted to have an international appeal, right? So this is where we started, right? We want to create a change in sound, and we believe that as Sri Lankans, we need to have one unified sound when we represent the country, and ours and that sound should represent the youth also, right? So this has been the journey. So during this journey, we have had a lot of international projects where we got together with the international artists, and we've been very successful in establishing industrial contacts and industrial relationships among the rest of the music industries in the world, right? So this was one area that Sri Lanka was lacking. Sri Lanka was not integrated with regard to the music industries with the rest of the world. So I believe during the past 20 years, we have done a lot. And the world knows that Sri Lanka has a pop music industry. Sri Lanka has a vibrant music industry, which is very contemporary. And so that this has been our focus, and we firmly believe, both Bathiya and I firmly believe that as Sri Lankans and the Sri Lankan youth, we have immense talent. We have absolute talent that could rock the world, right? Plus, we have a great culture. We have our own identity. We have our own flavor that is none parallel to the rest of the world. So, we firmly believe in the strength of the youth and the resources we have, and we just need to get together and do the rest of the things that the country needs to do in terms of music, in terms of contemporary arts, in terms of taking what is Sri Lankan as a sound to the rest of the world.
Great ideas. Thank you. So, Bathiya, I would like to ask the same question from you.
Okay. Can you please repeat that question? Because when you
yeah, sure. So, sure. So, the BNS is considered one of the most renowned band in the Sri Lankan music industry. So, how did you scouting help to achieve this much of success?
See, scouting, first of all, prior to talking about the global part of it and anything, scouting basically gave us an exposure of various parts of the Sri Lankan society. So I'm not going to talk about the global success, I'm going to talk about the Sri Lankan success first. So what happened to us was, when we did scouting, we got to be friends, we got to interact with a lot of segments of the Sri Lankan society. People from various parts of the island, people from various social backgrounds, people with various kind of I think social issues. We got to interact with a lot of people, where we got the experience, we gained the experience to basically get a proper insight of what Sri Lanka is all about. So that was one of the biggest things that we gained from scouting, and that gave us an insight to what we wanted to do while creating our songs, our music and stuff. And of course, as Santhush was explaining, the global, in the global front, we wanted to create a different sound, yes, but locally also, first we had to become big. We had to become big locally, and then we went globally. So as scouts, this kind of that differentiated interaction really helped us to get a proper gauge of what a cross-section of Sri Lankan people wanted, what they thought, what their problems were, how they kind of perceived culture and arts, and that was one of the greatest things that we gained from scouting as well.
Great, superb answer. So, Santhush, this question is to you. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed the daily routine of all of us. How did the pandemic affect BNS music career, and how did you overcome the challenges?
Well, tell you frankly, the pandemic has affected the entire music industry tremendously, right? And I think the industry is still trying to recover from it, and especially the entertainment industry. It has not been easy, especially for the entertainment industry. So I don't think anyone has fully recovered or anything like that. We are still in the process of trying to identify how could we still survive the entire industry. I'm talking of the entire industry, right? Yeah, everyone is trying to figure out how could we adapt to the new normal, right? The one of the positive areas that has come out is to take advantage of the digital platforms that we have, right? And to interact with the people. So those things are happening, and I think even today, what you're seeing now, this is this entire virtual setup, and how we are engaging today digitally. This is actually a result diversifying into different areas related to entertainment, but trying to give different services to people through entertainment, to other industries. I think that is the only way that we can survive, right? And the other thing, as musicians, what I would like to share is music is all about expressing ourselves, right? So even at the campery, even at the campfire, what we did was, after hard days of work, right? What we do is we come out there, we sing songs, we tell our stories, we do dramas, we express ourselves, right? So that is all. Everything about the entertainment industry is all about that, expressing how you feel, right? A musician will express that through music and sing, right? Then, or maybe a violinist will do it to a violinist, right? But so the problem has been, because of this pandemic, the venue or the distribution method has got obstructed, right? So we can't use the normal venue, we can't get people, we can't have an event and sing. So then only other way is, as a musician or any other person, what we need to think is, okay, how can we change our distribution? So maybe get into a digital platform, or maybe have some other source of entertainment where you record the music and you share with people. So at the end of the day, what a person needs to do is, they need to share, they need to express. So you could always, so basically this is the best time to think creative, think positive, think different, and to create new creatives of how to share what you want to feel in terms of aesthetics. So I think this would be the best way. And I think the industry, to ourselves, we are still figuring it out. The most important thing is to remain positive and to think positive and to create new things.
Great. So, Bathiya, this question is for you. This is about BNS musical career. So, what are the new musical productions which you are going to be released soon?
Well, actually, to talk about that, Milinda, we have got two new songs which are supposed to come this month, both from upcoming movies, and both are actually slow ballads, and one is sung by Santhush and Ashanti. I like composed the song, and also the other one is a song that is actually sung by us, by Bathiya and Santhush, which is supposed to come by the end of this month, and the first one will come out soon, in about a day or two. So it'll be out as well. And also after that, we have got a exciting lineup of stuff happening. So we have got a brand new album, which is the part 2 of our album, which came out in 2019, the Obanissa. The part 2 of that album, the edition, which is going to come out by the end of the year. And we have got a very interesting virtual event, which is quite a new experience than the particular virtual events that you all have been seeing up to now in Sri Lanka. We have got a very interesting, very, very immersive virtual event, which is going to happen in about 2 months from now. So this is the plan that we have for this year, and it's actually quite exciting. Though we don't have shows or whatever, we have taken that particular time to do brand new creatives, and we have taken that time to do, you know, to go on a brand new path and to bring out new things to the people. So it's a very exciting year in terms of all the creatives that are coming out.
Great. So that's your fans' questions actually. So Santhush, I would like to ask this question from you. Apart from musical work, what are the other areas you are working on?
Well, we've been working on other areas for a long time. If I just give you a small synopsis of what we do, during the past 20 years, we have diversified into other areas of entertainment in terms of creating visuals, in terms of creating events, in terms of creating music, not only for us, but for others. So on and so forth. So basically, we keep ourselves busy. Apart from making music, we also keep ourselves busy creating similar productions for other industries and other people. So that keeps us busy. Then apart from that, there is social work which comes along, and those are responsibilities and obligations that, of course, we do it with pleasure. So then with the rest of the time, we spend time with our family. So once these things takes place, I think day is done.
Great, thank you. Bathiya, so from YouTube, thousands of scouts are requested the song you sang in the opening ceremony after GCJ, Na Na Ne Na. Can you please sing a part of that?
Yes, actually, what I'll do is we'll sing it. I'll sing a part of it, then Santhush will sing. Because on Zoom, if you are in two places, you can't sing at the same time. There will be a delay in the song. So I'll sing a part of it, then Santhush can sing a part of it. So
Sure. Yeah.
na na ne na na ne na 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 ne na na ne na 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 tam de na tam de na na tam de na tam de na na Rankurahan Malasema Supipunu Bevata Boma Takagaman Sita Salena Preminumbe Ata Ona Malmasuran Ki Asena Gamane Mamana Bandina. Over to Santhush.
Na na ne na na ne na 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 ne na na ne na 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 tam de na tam de na 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 tam de na tam de na na Shrungare utturana boma Neriya anginninga penna Parasina ven pena Nilmini kelluman sena Hirimal hita hiri ratuna Kulundul sita kiti keuna Na na ne na na ne na 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 ne na na ne na 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 tam de na tam de na 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 tam de na tam de na na.
Nice one, thank you. So BNS, I would like to ask from shall we sing an English song as well? So as a tribute for more than 2,000 plus participants from over the seas. So I think it's a great idea for us.
It's like this, Melinda. I think it's very early in the morning. So it's a bit too early to sing because we had a late night yesterday. We were at a shoot, then we came back around 2:33 in the morning, and we woke up very early. So let's keep that for another day, and
Okay,
let's move on with some questions.
great, great. Okay. So, Bathiya, this question is to you. As a scout, can you give a piece of advice to our youth participants who are joining today?
Okay, as youth, the main thing that one main thing that you need to cultivate in yourself is, when you do something, do it for a purpose. Yes, we do a lot of things for fun as youth, but it's always something that you do with a purpose, which will take you to that next step in life. Right? Whatever you do it with a lot of conviction. Because if, say for example, when we became scouts, there were some of us who did scouting just for the fun of it, but there were some of us who had fun while having a purpose, being a scout, while learning of it, and really going deep into it. So most of us who really went into it took something out of it and came. So that's one advice that I would like to give most of the scouts here. Say for example, if you take me, I have a problem with my speech. I have a stammer, and that was really bad when I was small. When I was small, it was a little bit worse than what it was now. It is now. So scouting gave me a very interesting, gave me a lot of opportunity for me to overcome and gain that confidence, and to build that confidence that is needed to face life. So for example, there was a scout jamboree, which was the Tokyo Scout Jamboree, which happened in '94, where a lot of applicants from all over Sri Lanka applied. Only 2 applicants were chosen, and a lot of people were very skeptical about me applying for it. By that time I had already completed my residence badge. I had completed a lot of things, but I went ahead and applied, and I went for the interview, and the Sri Lanka Scout Association chose me as one of the participants of that jamboree, and that kind of gesture gave me a lot of confidence to be what I am today. So how it led to all those opportunities and things is because I did scouting with a purpose. I did scouting very seriously. I went down to it, and that's one thing that I can tell the young people: have purpose in life, in whatever you do, and you will go very far. Uh, you know, in everything that you do.
Great ideas. Thank you. So, Santhush, this question is to you. We may have future BNS watching us now in this jamboree. So, what advice would you like to give from those inspirational souls?
First of all, do what you like. Right? I will keep things very simple. Right? In life, we get one chance. Right? If you're lucky, you'll get another chance. Right? So every time you get an opportunity, do your best, and do what your heart says. Do what you like. Right? When you get into something hard, when you get into an obstacle, sometimes you have to take a step back, think of it very objectively, right? Try to understand the problem, right? Plan yourself and go forward. Understand what your talent is. Understand the say the strength you have, right? Give everything you've got. This is just one chance you get. When you get that opportunity, give everything you've got, and whatever you do it with a reason, right? Try to understand why you're doing it, and do it with a reason, and enjoy life, right? This is a ride, right? So enjoy the journey and do your best. Give your best. Give your best. So when you come back home, don't let yourself think, I could have done better. I should have done this. So whether you win or lose, that's not the winning is not the most important thing. Giving your best is the most important thing. So when you know that, yes, I have given my 100%, that's the most important thing. So give your best in any field or anything that you want to do. So that's a small piece of advice.
Thank you. So this is the time for the questions we got from the YouTubes. Bathiya, I would like to ask the first question from you.
Yes.
How did you make BNS band?
Well, it was very simple. The two of us initially met at one of the scout camperies, as I explained. And then thereafter, we kept meeting at camperies and scout activities. And then we went to, we actually met properly, as in, we used to meet at the camperies, but we used to say hi, bye. We were just hi, bye friends at that time. And then the Mary and David School of Music, that is where we properly met and started working together. And that was in 1994 or 1995. And from there onwards, in that school, we learned a lot of opera, Broadway, jazz, and stuff like that. And while learning that, we realized that the Sri Lankan youth were craving for a global sound at that time. And then what happened was we got together and we started brewing this kind of concept, and we got together and everything is history. It organically came together. So it was not as if we planned to make a band and say, we'll make a band and we'll put this together. There was a purpose behind this as well. So we saw a problem and we also had that problem, and we wanted to come out with a solution for that problem. And that is how we got together, and everything else is history. BNS started at that point.
Great, thank you. So the next question is to you, Santhush. Tell us more about your latest music album, Obanissa.
Well, just to tell you very briefly, we did almost 24 songs for the album Obanissa. We released 12 songs. We have 12 more songs to be released. And we were to release that last year, but because of the situation of the country and how the music industry was growing and everything, we delayed it. So we have 12 more songs to be released. I would say they're even better songs than what we have released in Obanissa. So we are going to rebrew the songs and we'll release them soon. So this is the second edition of Obanissa that we promised to release. So we'll release that soon.
Superb. So the next question is to Mr. Bathiya. Who are your favorite artists?
Well, the thing is that as BNS, we don't have one favorite artist. We have a lot of, we actually appreciate a lot of music. That's a part of why I think we have been able to stay very current up to now. The reason is because we appreciate a range of music. We appreciate classical music, we appreciate pop music, we appreciate Sinhala, English, Hindi, Arabic, you name it, Korean. If you talk about K-pop, J-pop, all those things we appreciate. But in Sri Lanka, my favorite artist of all time is actually Rukanta. Rukanta Gunatilaka is my favorite artist in Sri Lanka. But if you take globally, we have a lot of artists that we like, a lot of artists that we appreciate, a lot of styles that we appreciate. So that's my answer to it. Actually, he might have a different answer to me, Santhush. So you can ask the same question from him as well.
Yeah, superb. So Santhush, I would like to ask the same question from you. Who are your favorite artists?
Well, in Sri Lanka, there are many artists. Definitely Rukanta is one of them. Then Clarence is one of them. I love his compositions, right? And C.T. Fernando. Then I actually really do like the great Mr. Amardeva's songs, right? The way he touches the soul, he's inspirational. That's just next level. Then Sanuka, right? He's one guy. I think he's really turned the tables around. So Sanuka is one guy. Then Numaria, right? Such a beautiful voice, right? So I think these are the voices in Sri Lanka. If you take out of the country, I like, I don't know whether you heard, this is an old artist called Ray Charles, right? He's into blues, right? If you can search the YouTube and see. Then Alicia Keys, then Alicia Keys to, those type of artists. Then actually Michael Jackson. There's a lot to learn from Michael Jackson as a person in the entertainment industry. There's a lot to learn from him. So these have been my inspirations.
Yeah, thank you. So Bathiya, the next question is to you. Who are the people who were working behind the scenes to bring the 24 songs in your album a reality?
Okay, so there is a big team, there's a massive team, but if you talk about the core audio production team, which worked in our studio, so we have got Krishan Fernando, we have got Chamita Kore, who's actually the main studio engineer who was a part of the album. So he was one of the main studio engineers with the two of us. So Chamita is as an integral part of this album. Then we've got a lot of names to talk about. We've got about 24 names, so I won't go into each and every name detail. You can take the album has it, and so basically from the core team at the BNS studios, it was myself, Santhush, and Hamita and Krishan who are the main guys involved in the production. But saying that, we have got an array of songs from an array of songwriters and an array of other young producers in the album.
Yeah, thank you, Bathiya. So the next question is to Santhush. Actually, this question is relevant to all the young generation, actually. So how did scouting help you to have a balance between your family life and the career?
Well, how can I say? Now, when you say family life, I did scouting before I got married, right? So now I need to relate your question to my family at that time, right? How can I put this? Now, I am a person, I did lots of sports, right? Apart from sports, I played football and rugby for Royal. Then apart from that, I did scouting also. So now scouting, in a sport, there are certain things you learn, but bit of aesthetics, certain areas of social discipline, you do learn, but not to the extent that you learn from scouting, right? So it is through scouting that I learned, okay, even within a family unit, you need to coexist. You need to, respect, right? Scouting taught us how to coexist how to coexist as a team, how to integrate within your patrol, then within your troop, then to understand each other's needs and wants, right? To understand that, right? Because without understanding, you can't exist, right? How can you stay for 7 days with all different people for 7 days within a camp, right? There's so much of things to understand. So then they become your family, right, afterwards, right? So when you create a family out of your family, then you realize so many things that you need to treasure within your family, right? So brotherhood, right? So much of things. Then to the extent that now, let's say if my father taught me as to how I should be thrifty with my money, with my finances or anything like that, that I learned more in scouting. Right now, that is something that I wouldn't learn when it comes to that I wouldn't learn in a sport. But when you're the troop in charge and you need to, create the finances for the rest of the camp, I mean, let's say for the entire campery, right? You need to plan out. So for 7 days, you need to make sure that the boys are fed, right? Everything is there, security to everything is there. So that's a load of responsibility, right? You take. So now that you really understand, okay, this is what a father does for the family, right? So you understand so many. So, I mean, the reason what I want to share is, now, as a scout, when you're experiencing this, don't only look at the fun side and look at what you do, don't just only see what you see from the outside. Try to understand what your troop leader, what he's going through, why your senior scout is coming and telling you, Malli meka karan depa, Malli meka kohomari apita karala oni. There is a reason, right? So I saw another family out of my comfort zone of my own family when I was a little boy, right? So I grew up with this family. So I would say it really, entrusted me, and it really gave me more confidence, more understanding what it's so great to be a family. So I would say scouting has a lot, like scouting will teach you a lot, but it is up to you to take that from scouting, right? It is not only, it is not on it. Scouting is not about getting badges. Scouting is not about, wearing that nice uniform, right, and going and camping. There's so much of other things that you need to learn, that you can learn out of it. So this is what I learned. Apart from, these sports, you don't learn this stuff, right? So these things you learn from scouting. So what I'd like to share with the rest of the people, within the camp, within the entire jamboree, is that understand scouting with more reasoning, right? It's a nice ride. Have a good time.
Yeah, thank you, Santhush. Actually, this question is to you also. Apart from music, career, and sports, what are you doing the hobbies, and what are the hobbies you are doing in the leisure times?
Actually, I don't have so much of say free time to do many other hobbies, but just to share, right? I think again this connects with scouting also, right? So I used to collect stamps and first day covers, right? So I have actually a pretty super first day cover collection, right? And I won't say about music because that is what we do for a living, right? So I mean, I won't say. So once in a way, I can remember. I think it was Mr. Rohan Disilla who would do. Just to share, right? Hello, can you all hear?
Yeah, we can hear. Yeah.
So, well, maybe cook something for the family. I've done the master cook badge, so I think I can make something for myself, right? So these are the things, there is not so much of free time, but I like to take things easy when I get free time.
Yeah, great. So the next question is to you, Bathiya. How does BNS maintain their relationship outside your musical career? What did you do for as a fun?
Okay, so basically, how did BNS maintain the relationship? So basically, as BNS, one of our main things is, apart from being the duo that you all know who sings together, we, as it was explained by Santhush, we have a lot of other companies that we do together, as in we are the primary shareholders of those companies, and we are primary shareholders of the entire BNS group. So we have about 6 to 8 companies, and that those companies we are shareholders, and we work together on a everyday basis. And apart from that, how we have maintained this good relationship between BNS for the past almost 23 years now, is because we give the space to each other. We give that space, because when you have a working relationship, when you have a business relationship, when you have a creative relationship, what happens is a lot of times you see that people don't give space to each other. The two parties involved or the three parties involved in a partnership, they always try to compete for the fame, compete for, I don't know, the fame, the money, everything that comes with it. So what happens is the moment you have that competition and you don't give space to the other, all these partnerships fail. So in terms of BNS, we give each other a lot of space to be each other, and also we know that BNS is not just one person's hard work or one person's success. It's always the both of us put together. So the two flavors always make BNS a much more stronger, much more successful, much more resilient brand or a band, or even in terms of our work in the company as well. It makes our company most successful when this formula comes together and creates this new thing. So we have always understood that, and we have kept that kind of relationship going. So that is one of our biggest success stories.
Yeah. So thank you very much. So now is the part. Now is the time to listen to the song from you guys, as a very famous song. My favorite song as well. So Siri Sangabodhi Maligawe, this song. Now let's going to hear from our BNS.
Okay, so what we'll do is, if you are going to sing Siri Sangabodhi, it's very early as I said, but then since I also can see the YouTube feed, I can see a lot of global, scouts also on that feed. I can see that on the other window. So okay, so we'll sing a part of that song. I'll sing a part of it, and then Santhush can sing the rest of it most probably. So Asiri Sangabodhi Maligavedi ma deka prane hane veta dem alla bandaranda binda unda kunda lami sinde sende kale maligave inneva soya alla bandaranda binda unda kunda lami sinde sende kale maligave inneva soya darbe sile ratte raja lame divinasa darbe venne passe hinda kinda dosaya kola hala sinde venta kale bosunda कोलाहल सिद्ध वेंट काले बोसुंदा तेज सारा शीलवंत धर्म संग बोधि राज भंग कर लामिनर मालिगा सोया तेज सारा शीलवंत धर्म संग बोधि राज भंग कर लामिनर मालिगा सोया सिरी संग बोधि मालिगा वेदीमा तक प्राणे हाने वेंट बैठ देम सिरी संग बोधि मालिगा वेदीमा तक प्राणे हाने वेंट बैठ देम. All right.
Okay. Thank you very much. In that song, we have the huge demand of the YouTube. So that's why we are humbly requesting from you. So sing that song. So thank you very much, Mr. Bathiya Jayakody and Mr. Santhush Weeraman from joining with us today at the Global Cultural Jamboree.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So that brings us the end of the third episode at the catch-up at Global Cultural Jamboree. Stay tuned with us, our new episode with the two other great personalities. Until then, stay safe and see you soon.
All right, see you.
All right, see you guys. Bye-bye. All the best. Bye.